sun dipped low, casting an orange glow over the village of Icon. Aduke, her heart pounding like a tribal drum, slipped away from her father's hut. She knew where she was going and who she was going to see. Babatunde, her father's friend, had been a regular visitor to their home since she was a little girl. But now, at 18, she saw him differently. His laughter, his stories, his strong hands. Everything about him made her heart flutter. She walked swiftly, her feet knowing the path by heart. Behind Babatunde's hut stood an old orange tree, its branches heavy with fruit. It was their secret meeting place, a sanctuary away from the prying eyes of the village. She found him there, leaning against the trunk, a small smile playing on his lips. "You came?" he said, his voice a low rumble. Aduke nodded, her cheeks flushing. "I couldn't stay away." Babatunde chuckled, pulling her into a warm embrace. His hands roamed her back, sending shivers down her spine. She melted into him, her body pressing against his, their lips meeting a passionate kiss, tongues dancing, breaths mingling. It was forbidden, but it felt so right. They spent hours under the orange tree, stealing kisses, sharing whispers, and dreaming of a future together. Babatunde talked about leaving the village, about finding a place where they could be together without judgment. Aduke listened, her heart swelling with hope and love. But as the night deepened, reality crept in. They knew they had to be careful. Her father, Chief Olu, was a respected hunter in the village. He was known for his strength and his temper. If he ever found out about their relationship, there would be hell to pay. Aduke left Babatunde's side with a heavy heart, her mind racing with thoughts of their future. She tiptoed back to her father's hut, her heart pounding in her chest. She could hear her father's snores from outside, a sign that he was already asleep. She let out a sigh of relief, slipping into her mat quietly. But as she lay there, staring at the thatched roof, she heard a soft rustle outside. Her heart skipped a beat. She held her breath, listening intently. The rustle came again, followed by a soft whisper. "Aduke." It was Babatunde. She rushed out, her heart in her throat. "What are you doing here?" she whispered, her eyes wide with fear. Babatunde's face was grim. "Your father knows, Aduke. He saw us. Aduke's world spun." "What? How?" "I don't know," Babatunde replied, his voice barely above a whisper. "But he knows, and he's not happy." Aduke's heart pounded in her chest. She knew her father's temper. She knew the consequences of defying him. But she also knew her love for Babatunde. She took a deep breath, steeling herself for what was to come. "Let him come," she whispered, her voice steady despite the fear gripping her heart. "I won't give you up, Babatunde, not for anything." Babatunde smiled, his eyes filled with love and admiration. "I know, Aduke, and I won't give you up either." As they stood there, under the starlit sky, they knew they were standing on the precipice of a storm. But they also knew they were ready to face it together. Little did they know, the storm was closer than they thought. Back in his hut, Chief Olu lay awake, his eyes burning with anger and betrayal. He gripped his cutlass, his knuckles white. He had seen them, his daughter and his friend, locked in each other's arms. The sight had filled him with a rage he had never known. He had trusted Babatunde. He had welcomed him into his home. And this was how he repaid him. He took a deep breath, trying to calm his racing heart. He knew what he had to do. He had to protect his daughter, even if it meant going against his friend, even if it meant shedding blood. He looked at his cutlass, the blade glinting in the moonlight. He nodded, his resolve strengthening. Tomorrow, he would confront Babatunde. tomorrow, he would put an end to this forbidden love. The first light of dawn barely crept over the horizon when Chief Olu stepped out of his hut, cutlass in hand. His eyes were set, his jaw clenched tight. He walked with a purpose, each step echoing his determination. The village was still asleep, unaware of the storm about to break. Babatunde's hut was quiet, the only sound the soft hum of the morning breeze. Chief Olu kicked open the door, the wood splintering against the force. Babatunde jolted awake, his eyes widening at the sight of his friend standing there, cutlass in hand. Chief Olu, Babatunde started, but the chief cut him off with a wave of his blade. "You betrayed me, Tunde," Chief Olu growled, his voice low and dangerous. "You betrayed my trust, my hospitality. You defiled my daughter." Babatunde stood up, his hands raised in a peaceful gesture. "Chief, I saw you," Chief Olu interrupted, his voice shaking with rage. "I saw you under the orange tree, your hands on my daughter. You think I would let that stand? You think I would let you get away with it?" Babatunde took a deep breath, his eyes never leaving Chief. "Olu, I love her, Chief. I love Aduke, and she loves me." Chief Olu's grip tightened on his cutlass, his knuckles turning white. "Love? You call this love? You sneak around, you lie, you betray. That is not love, Tunde. That is deceit." Babatunde shook his head, his voice steady despite the tension. "It's not like that, Chief. We never meant to hurt you. We just fell in love." Chief Olu's eyes flashed with anger. "Fell in love? You fell into temptation, Tunde. And now, you will face the consequences." With a roar, Chief Olu lunged forward, his cutlass swinging through the air. Babatunde dodged just in time, the blade missing him by a hair's breadth. He backed away, his hands still raised in a peaceful gesture. "Chief, please," Babatunde pleaded, his voice calm. "Let's talk about this. Let's find a solution." But Chief Olu was beyond reason. He lunged again, his cutlass slicing through the air. Babatunde dodged once more, but this time, he stumbled, his foot catching on a loose mat. He fell to the ground, his back hitting the hard earth with a thud. Chief Olu stood over him, his cutlass raised high. "This ends now, Tunde," he growled. But before he could bring down the blade, a figure rushed in, throwing herself between Babatunde and the chief. It was Aduke, her eyes wild with fear and determination. "Father, no," she cried, her voice echoing in the small hut. "Don't do this." Chief Olu's arm froze midair, his eyes widening in shock. "Aduke, what are you doing?" Aduke stood her ground, her body shielding Babatunde. "He won't let you hurt him, Father. I love him, and he loves me." Chief Olu's eyes flashed with anger and betrayal. "You dare defy me, Aduke? You dare choose this man over your own father?" Aduke's voice was steady, her eyes never leaving her father's. "I choose love, Father. I choose happiness, and if that means kusin Babatunde, then so be it." The hut fell silent, the only sound the heavy breathing of the three people inside. Chief Olu's arm slowly lowered, his cutlass hanging loosely at his side. He looked from Aduke to Babatunde, his expression unreadable. "Very well," he said finally, his voice cold. "If this is your choice, Aduke, then so be it. But know this, Tunde, if you ever hurt her, if you ever betray her trust, I will not hesitate to end you. Do you understand?" Babatunde nodded, his voice sincere. "I understand, Chief, and I promise I will never hurt her. I will love her, honor her, and protect her for as long as I live." Chief Olu nodded, his expression softening slightly. "Then it is settled. But know this, both of you, the village will not accept this easily. They will judge, They will gossip. They will try to tear you apart. Are you prepared for that? Aduke and Babatunde looked at each other, their hands reaching out to clasp tightly. "We are," they said together, their voices strong and united. Chief Olu nodded, his expression resigned. "Then go. Leave the village, start anew. But know this, if you ever return, you will face the consequences of your actions." With that, Chief Olu turned and left the hut, his cutlass still in hand. Aduke and Babatunde watched him go, their hearts pounding with a mix of fear and relief. They knew the road ahead would be tough, but they also knew they were ready to face it together. As they stepped out of the hut, the village was stirring to life. The whispers started immediately, the judgmental looks, the pointed fingers. But Aduke and Babatunde held their heads high, their hands clasped tightly. They were ready to face the storm, ready to fight for their love. And as they walked away from the village, they knew they were taking the first step towards their future, whatever it may hold.